Hey, it's MK, and I am here with the Crafty Maven Getaway Mixed Media Kit. I am also here with the Mixed Media Mayhem recipe for you guys, and I am using my Kit Conspiracy kit for this week, which we are on week 4. All right, so for my Kit Conspiracy kit paper, I picked out this Hidden Creek paper that looks like a brick wall that is I don't know, it's like a collage brick wall. It's got moss on it. It's super awesome. I also have this really cool photo of the drinks that my husband and I got on our cruise to Alaska. And then I have these die cut pieces mixed with laser cut pieces. They are so delicate, you guys. I don't even know how to share them with you because I feel like if I touch them too much, they're just going to fall apart. They're so delicate. For my wood veneer, which is part of my recipe, I have these leaves and things. And then I also have my drink glasses that are in the shop. And I'm going to share with you guys how to fill them up. It's going to be so much fun. I don't know if I end up using all of these leaves, but I might. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. So for my mixed media, I have this texture paste that I'm going to add through my stencil. That was from a monthly box 2 years ago, I want to say. Yep. That's when it was. And then for the Crafty Maven Mixed Media box, I have my glassine bag, which was a packaging. I'm going to use the Dina Wakley paint, the Distress Crayon in Abandoned Coral. I've got the chiffon ribbon. I have the sequins mix that is for the mix of April. It's not part of the mixed media bag, but it is also part of the April release. And then I have the texture add-on in this awesome peach color, so I'm going to use that. And then the doily also came in the bag. And then I have this the paint that I believe is by Finnabair. I will have to definitely look that up and make sure that I know that it is Finnabair paint. So, and I believe it is also in coral. So I'm going to cut down the glassine bag so that way it fits my photos and I don't have to what is the word? I like the fact that it's got this little tag element on the bag. So I'm not going to use the bag, but I do want to keep that element on there. And when I first put it on, I was going to put it on at the top, and then I realized very, very quickly that I wanted it to go on the side. So I'm going to actually take it apart and put it on its side as soon as the texture paste is on. So I'm going to take the texture paste and very messily rub it through this stencil. I love this stencil. It is just the perfect size for a good grid. I don't know. I guess, is there a perfect size at all? So I'm going to go around in 4 corners, but it's going to be in the sides, 4 sides of my layout, but make almost like a diamond print, but I'm going to avoid the middle because that's usually where my photo is going to go. It's going to go in the middle, kind of off to the left a little bit. So once that texture paste is down and dried, I will come back and start on the mixed media. And the first thing I'm going to do is use this Distress Crayon. I'm not very experienced in the whole crayon business, but I'm going to give it a try. So what I have is I have a glass of water sitting next to me, and I'm just going to rub the crayon over my texture paste and see if I can't spread that color around. And it spreads beautifully. Now, keep in mind that my paper is not made for mixed media, so it will warp a lot because I do end up adding a little bit too much water to my project. But here I'm just going to go ahead and spread the crayon around just a little bit. I'm going to do it in dark in some spots, light in other spots. But this is only the first layer that I'm going to be adding to my texture paste. Another part of my Mixed Media Mayhem recipe is monochromatic. So I chose all of the orange bits or orangey shades in the Crafty Maven kit. And so once I got the orange, I thought, hey, that's perfect. That's my monochromatic right there. But I'm not very good at monochromatic, and I don't really understand it. I guess I do understand it, but I always tend to bring in neutrals when I play monochromatic. I don't mind bringing in just one color and working with just one color or the shades of that color. But when it comes to the embellishments matchy-matchy and this matchy-matchy and that matchy-matchy, I just can't do it, you guys. I tried over and over and over again. And honestly, I want to have a project that I love. I just really, really do. And so when I picked out elements for this, I thought, you know what? My neutrals are going to have to stay. They really are. So I've got my neutral background, which is this awesome wood grain. I've got a neutral pattern paper, which is the cement collage paper. And then of course I added my greenery for my leaves, but the flowers that I brought in are either white or a little peachy in color. So I feel like I stuck with the monochromatic pretty well, considering it's not true monochromatic. It is not black, white, and one color in multiple shades. It just, that is a true monochromatic, and I just fail every time. All right, so I'm going to use a credit card to or a gift card, whatever. This is my very first credit card that I've ever owned in my whole entire life, and I just haven't gotten rid of it yet. In fact, the plastic coating just fell off of it. So anyways, I'm going to use it to catch the paint. This is the Dina Wakley paint. I'm going to catch it in the grooves of my texture paste. And so then I can just scrape it across my little bricks that I've got going on here, or my squares. And now I'm going to be playing with this Finnabair paint. It is a very, very liquidy paint. I just cannot wait. I am wiping up the grooves of where the cap goes, so that way it doesn't dry and try to glue the cap to the side of the bottle. So I did just use my little, what is that called? My messy rag to go ahead and wipe that up, so that way I don't get any stickiness or dryness. And then I'm just going to paint. I'm painting in my little place. I should have stuck with my confines of the texture paste. I tried to go out. I tried to make it look like it was, like leaking out. As awful as that sounds. And in some spots I like it, but up at the very top I was like, I don't like how this is going. I really don't. But I add a little bit more water, and now the Dina Wakley ink is spreading as well. So that's kind of cool. I am working with it. I did not allow the Dina Wakley paint to dry. I just cleaned up my glass mat and went to town on everything else. I still don't like the top of my layout, but in the end, it does not matter to me because I do like the end result. I like how this dries most of all, and I love the vibrancy of it. I just love, it's as vibrant as our drinks are. I absolutely love how this turned out and ended up looking, with it being this bright orange, in all honesty. I absolutely love it. I think the orange is called Radiant. Which is awesome. I squealed when I opened the box, truly. All right, so I'm going to pour out just a little bit more because I have to fill my cups. Of course, I dropped my paintbrush in the paint, so I had to go wipe that up. Sorry. But I'm going to leave the background. No, I'm going to splatter. I added a little bit of water to even liquefy it more, and I'm going to add some splattering in. Now, I do have to say that when I left this particular Finnabair paint in like a puddle, like I didn't thin it out, it actually dried with a gloss to it. So I'm not sure if that was its intention, like it was supposed to have a gloss to it or not. I like it, and I like how random it is on my page. So that was a good discovery as well. So here I'm just going to use one tiny little strip of this cement paper. I'm not going to use a whole bunch of it. I just really wanted a foundation for my photo, basically a cement foundation. And I'm going to decorate this with my ribbon that I got from the Mixed Media kit and the texture add-on the texture add-ons from the April release as well for the Crafty Maven Getaway. So I'm going to go ahead and just distress these edges, clean up all of the loose little bits and the thinner pieces of paper so I have a good, sturdy, strong foundation. And then I'm going to take my texture piece and I'm going to rip it in half. That way I can use it on another layout. But I wanted this ruffly bit right here, so I can keep it on my layout. And then I'm going to take the chiffon piece and I'm going to attempt to rip it in half as well. It does not rip in half. It just doesn't. So I cut a slit in it, tried to rip it, and now I have to cut the whole thing. And it is very tedious. So, which I knew that. I had chiffon before in one of my kits as well. I knew that. So it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use my tear and tape to help me hold all of this fabric in place. It has been a long while since I have used chiffon or any kind of texture like this in my projects. So I'm super excited and super stoked at getting to use it. And I think that it adds a great amount of texture and what is the word? I don't want to say bulk, but it does add a little bit of bulk to your pages as well. So I really like how I like what this adds to my page. I think it was definitely what my page needed, especially on such a bright background. And this is a little bit of a lighter tone, and it looks really good behind the cement once I flip it over. Right now it looks like a hot mess because I don't know what I'm doing. And I realized that the chiffon was longer, so now I need to bunch it up a little bit more. I also realized that it's not as wide as I wanted it to be, so it's not poking out of the ribbon. So I will end up adding more tape and more of everything, basically. But yes, I definitely, I definitely did redo this quite a bit. But I like how it's all bunched up and gives me that little ruffle look. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side, but instead of adding the other texture, I'm going to just add the chiffon ribbon. So that way it looks like it's double-sided, but it has a different texture on the other side. So just finishing that up, ruffling it up. It was a little bit longer than 12 inches, which is nice. And so, like I said, it gave me that good ruffle. Now that I have it all under control, I have tamed the ribbon, and I am going to go ahead and peel off my tear and tape and just go ahead and put it. At first I thought, I didn't realize that I made it the exact size of one of the panelings on my wood grain. And at first I thought, well, do I want it to go that way, or do I want it to turn and have the paneling go, side to side? And I ultimately just leave it going up and down because that is how I did my texture and planned for my photo. So yes, I went ahead and I left it. I already flipped my photo around. Like I said, I was going to leave it with the tag opening off to the left. And so I accidentally put it up at the right. Actually, no, I didn't realize that I wanted it on the left until I saw what it looked like sticking up out of my picture. And I didn't like that. So I wanted it off to the left, knowing that most of my design was going to be on the right. And now I won't cover up my little tab I have. So I'm also going to go off camera here and peel off my all of my masking that is on my wood so I can see the beautiful wood grain on there. And now I am going to fill my cups. So what I'm doing is I'm pouring out a little bit on my messy mat, on my glass mat. And then I'm just using my finger to dab the paint onto my acrylic piece. If I had like a Nuvo dropper for this particular paint, I probably would have used that. But this paint is very, very liquidy. And so that type of applicator definitely would have just probably spilled. So I'm using my finger on both sides of, well, not both sides, but I flipped it upside down so I could see how full my cup is getting and be able to control it better with just my finger on the other side. And then I'm using my fingernail to almost like painting someone's fingernail, and then you clean up the sides and around the cuticles with your fingernail, just so that way the paint doesn't dry on your skin. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And here I'm going to, a smaller cup actually takes the paint a lot easier now that it's not my first one. And I kind of knew what I was doing, and I absolutely love how they look. I'm just so glad that that my idea worked, even though I really made the cups without testing the idea first. It was just one of those things that, you know what, if I make it, it'll work. And I did. All right, so I'm going to start with the white background leaves first, and then fill them in with the laser cut pieces, because then the white doesn't seem to show as much. But I decided to use the white side of the doily, so that way I brought in more white other than the background of my die cuts. So I really like that idea, and I feel like it helps take away from the attention that those die cuts would have called to had they been the only white on the layout. I love these little laser cut flowery leafy things that have I don't know, they're almost like bleeding hearts, but I don't really know what they're called. But I just love how they look coming out from behind the photo and just kind of drooping out into, outside of the layout. I don't know. It just looks so super cool, and they look so 3D. Even though they're not. Okay, so very tediously, I went and I glued everything down. It was just a pill. Nothing was staying where I wanted it. And now I'm just adding a few butterflies. I'm still waiting for my cups to dry. I lost my other butterfly for a heartbeat, but I found her. She's good to go. I'm going to give her a little bit of a facelift, so that way she can be floating off my page. It might be a he. I don't know. Are butterflies boys and girls? I don't know. And then I'm going to use nope, it's not an enamel dot. It's like a glue dot to glue my little cups down. I love how that looks. Now, you guys might not be able to see the stems. They look like really weird pieces sitting on my doily at the moment, but up close and personal, they look amazing. The twine, I'm going to tuck the twine underneath some of the glass, the stems of the glass a little bit to draw a little bit more attention there. And I'm going to finish this layout off with a title. I'm going to use these raw chipboard title alphas from Thickers, and I was going to try to paint this Dina Wakley paint on with its applicator, assuming that it was going to work like a rub-on, or not a rub-on, I apologize, like a Nuvo drop, but it does not. It is too thick, to be honest. It doesn't go where I want it to, and I can't color it in using the applicator. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line with this and then dab it with my finger. I love that, and I love how it dries even more, because now it's so full of texture. It is just super cool, you guys. I definitely did not even know this product existed, and I'm curious to see what other colors, because I love how textury this turned out. In all honesty, it just yeah, it's so cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use, because they're Thickers, I have to use extra adhesive. I wasn't even going to try, so I'm going to use some tweezers to pick them up, and then use my applicator for my glue, and then go ahead and just use my tweezers and my fingernail to poke in. I don't want to ruin any of this texture. Went and got a little dish so that way I can use I have a pickup tool from Close to My Heart, and so I just use that. I'll probably use it until it's like a pencil. You sharpen it and then you're done using it, and then once you get a little nubby, then you're done using it. And then I'll probably end up buying a tool that, those gem picker upper things that everybody uses. But I'm going to go ahead and pick out only the orange sequins. And they are so cool, because the lighter sequins are true to form sequins, but the darker ones have like a swirl on them, and they just look really cool. They're crazy cool. In all honesty. So I'm definitely going to just go ahead and pick up all of my orange sequins. I'm trying not to tip my bowl. This is the first time I've ever used this bowl. And if you can see, if the sequins is too close to the edge, it starts to tip on me, and I don't want that. So anyways, that is my layout for today. I actually really enjoyed this. These were our go-to drinks, by the way, on this cruise. We ordered the exact same thing every time. And the longer the cruise is, the more they start giving us, like the more alcohol they are. So when you first get them, they're more of the mix and less of the alcohol. And then the farther out you go and the closer it is to ending it, the more alcohol and the less mix you get. So but it was still really, really good. I loved creating this layout. It was super fun adding all of this orange on a layout, or orange and peach and all those colors. It is just great. All right, you guys, don't forget to check out all the links I have down below for Kit Conspiracy, Mixed Media Mayhem, and the Crafty Maven. I have all of those links as well. If you guys are interested in this kit, seeing the kit, I have a review that I did yesterday of this kit. It is fabulous, you guys. So many things that you can do. And surprise, surprise, I'm using it again tomorrow because I wasn't expecting to, but I am. It wasn't meant to be, but stay tuned to see what I do with it tomorrow. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.